Ha ha! The OG boys are back.
What's up, YouTubers? This is JoJo Siwa.
I mean, I don't know where Matthew is right now, but I hope he's okay. I didn't hear from him. Oh, speak of him and he shall appear. Man Hewland.
Hey, baby.
Yo.
I was actually just saying, like, I don't know where he is. I hope he's okay.
Yeah, I'm fine.
He's always here in our hearts.
In our hearts.
Well, Matthew, I'm going to be around for the first half an hour, and I promised Ben something that would blow his butt off. And you know what?
Well, I will just sit back and...
I'm going to blow your butt off, too.
Whoa, double butts being blown off. Hold on, I gotta find some appropriate music for butts being blown. No, go ahead. I'm just kidding.
In the early days,
appropriate for butts being
before Benjamin and I made a podcast or played Dungeons and Dragons together, hell, before we even really started to hang out, there was a little something that I got invited to when, in the year of our Lord 2013, the World Wrestling Entertainment released a little game we like to call WWE 13. And upon that day, we all played and drafted our own promotions. And when we did so,
blow that screen up, baby.
We partied hardy. So these are, I went back through when I, well, let me see how big I can get this.
Just make big and
there we go. Make big. Oh,
it's too powerful. It's too big. It's too powerful.
Too big. So yes, this is, we all went through, my brother invited me along to a little shindig at this guy Ben Mayer's house, who he was working with along with Mike Harmon at
hello, my name is Michael Harmon.
And he said, hey, this guy's really cool. He also likes wrestling and comics and other nerdy shit. You should totally come along and we'll play this game. And I didn't have it at the time, and so I was like, okay, this will be great. So a little disappointed to find out that it was on the Xbox, I believe, so we couldn't cross-platform at the time. But we went through, and originally Dave and I were going to be sharing a team, and then I believe that somebody dropped out, and so there was an opportunity for me to have my own team, and these are the results of those drafts. And I thought it would be hilarious to share these today. This was, this is the like origin story of Ben and I hanging out, and I think a pretty fantastic origin story. So
a dark glimpse into a much more innocent time.
Yeah. So we went through and downloaded CAWs for all of these, and we created our own promotion, because you could create the different promotions on there, and then you could run shows. And so when we got together each month, we would do I think we did half of the shows each month, and then we had like a pay-per-view where like each of us promoted a match or two. Is that right?
Yeah.
So yeah, Ben, can you run us through Adventure Time, your weekly show?
Yeah. Okay. Well, oh God. Before I realized some of these people were complete shitbags.
Well, that's good. I mean, the preface is this is 2013.
Back when Hopkins was cool.
This was before Hopkins was cool, I think, even. Yeah.
I know my first pick was Kenta Kobashi, and my second pick would have been Great Muda. But after that, all bets are off.
That's a true story. I don't actually remember. I do believe that we could, if we wanted to, we could select people up to a trio's worth of people. Tag teams and trios counted together, so you wouldn't end up like splitting the bill and having the we thoroughly disliked the Raw SmackDown like break up the tag team trope, so we were like we're not doing it.
I was always a big fan of Fist.
Yeah.
Friends in Similar Tights.
Not the Stallone movie.
Yeah, no, not the Stallone movie. I will be honest though, I was never a big Johnny Gargano and Fist fan, but acceptable. Yeah, it's an interesting roster. You can tell. I mean, I think I chose Cody Rhodes and Damian Sandow because the Smoke and Mirrors song made my wife want to put a hole in the drywall, and I love to play it all the time. Funny enough, the other day she made a joke about this all being Smoke and Mirrors, and then she stopped herself and she was like, "That's a wrestling song, isn't it? It's a song." I was like, "It's a song you fucking hate. I can play it for you." And she was like, "Get out of my sight."
That and the in latter years, I think the Sami Zayn song, and then what was the other one? There's one other one that I can't remember.
She hated the Miz song.
Yes.
No, she hated the Dolph Ziggler song.
Yeah.
I'm here to show the world. I'm here to show that. She was like, "This is the dumbest fucking song."
I mean, for as many times as we were navigating through this, and it would restart to the like opening song, she had reason. She had good reason.
Only Smoking Mirrors tonight. I mean, come on.
I'm here to show the world.
No, she was like, there were songs she despised a great deal. Yeah. I mean, I think you can get a good feel for like where my brain goes as a wrestling fan.
To be fair, live or dead.
Yeah.
We have some dearly departed on here, but
Brian Pillman was dead. Yeah.
I think Bam Bam was at that point too. No,
I don't know if Bam Bam was dead.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, I wish Alberto Del Rio was dead. This was the height of Gene doing the Quarter Del Rio.
Yeah.
That we would ask him to do all the time. Can I get
we had the drop ready to go whenever we did the pay-per-view.
Hey, Gene, can I get a Del Rio rating? And sometimes it would just be
the Quarter Del Rio.
You know, it's good if he gave you a full Del Rio.
Yeah, if you're getting the full Del Rio, you did something very right.
Oh, God, that guy turned out to be a real winner.
Yeah, I was very angry that you ended up at the time getting Steen and Elgin.
Yeah, you could tell that my area of love of wrestling was a lot of Chikara, a lot of Ring of Honor, and then old dudes. Although I will say,
a lot of Haas.
Knowing that the Shard is the Meat Man is kind of the best. I don't know if we knew who all those people were yet.
I don't think so.
If we were in with the Chikara folks enough yet to have them spill secrets to us.
I don't think so.
That was great. That was my roster. It's an interesting roster. It's very heel heavy.
Yeah. It's very, very true.
And I've always loved Ain't No Boo Like Sabu, baby.
Yeah. It's a true story. Yeah, good mix of Japan and Chikara and Haas's and
I don't know why I was so in love with the Rhodes Scholars, but I really did like them as a tag.
I think that we just thought that was like the funniest shit in the world, honestly.
And I don't even think they were trying to be super funny at that point. This was before Mizdow. So this was when Sandow was still trying to be somewhat serious, I guess. Yeah. Goddamn. What a roster. I mean, we do get a 4-man Fist team.
Yeah.
And I'm all about that.
That's a full fist.
That's a full fist. You're taking that whole thing.
Yeah. I mean, should it be 5 technically?
No, because it's not a fist. It's about friends in similar tights.
Oh.
It's an acronym, Matt.
Shall we move on to the next?
Yeah. I know Chris Hero though.
No Chris Hero.
And no Pepsi Phil.
No Pepsi Phil.
Shocking.
This is
Oh Jesus Christ! Who's game? Oh God, yeah, this makes sense. Whose this is?
so basically the 90s. All right. Unchained. Unchained is a great word for this roster. And we're moving on.
Also, a roster full of notorious dickbags, pretty much.
Yeah. Was this Cordell? Okay, like I don't think I've seen, I don't think I've seen him since.
I haven't ever since he married
but yes,
that person who owed me money.
Thunderdome, also very similar.
Although I do like the idea of, and I don't know if he made that up or someone else did, that all of the Latin dudes on his thing are called the Latin Kings, which I actually kind of like a lot.
Well, he was like real into the gang wars era, stuff, and so he really tried to,
who wasn't? But I mean, he's got Booker T, Brodus Clay, and David Otunga.
Yeah, David Otunga. I think we were all high on David Otunga at the time.
He's got Hunico. I mean, come on, man. This is a real interesting roster.
Which I thought was, there's interesting because like Paul White's on here, but he's not in the World Order. Right?
Like, look at this roster. I would watch a show with this roster.
Yeah.
It would be a fucking car wreck, but I would. You got Jinder Mahal and Ryback? Come on. Come on. This looks like a roster of a guy who picked last in every round.
Oh damn, dude. Are you sure?
I don't know. Yeah, I was gonna say he's got Ray and Kofi, and I mean, there's some.
I don't know, man. That's a pretty rough roster.
It's not great. Don't get me wrong.
No, go back to Bobberts. Go back to Bobberts roster. Bobbert's got fucking Pepsi Phil.
He's got Pepsi
He's got
Phil.
Rob Van Dam. He's got Eddie Guerrero. He's got Shawn Michaels. He's got Bret Hart.
Yeah, he's got
Edge.
It's a classic. It's a classic.
That's definitely a roster that was chosen by a guy from a certain time period who liked a certain type of wrestling.
Absolutely.
And was an unrepentant asshole.
100%. Yeah. And this, to a certain extent, is the same thing plus New World Order. It's very much like a certain time and then plus New World Order and Too Cool,
Who else was, he did have like the OG New World Order, and there's no Hogan.
Yeah,
I think we might have outlawed Hogan in this house at this point.
Oh yeah, I think there was no Hogan in this dojo. I believe. Although I think Michael has some picks.
Michael Harmon.
Yeah. Move on to David.
God.
The most David roster of all
time.
I remember.
That's where fucking Chris Hero went. Is David beat me to it?
Well, because he wanted to do Kings of Wrestling. But even back then, very Uzi of Dave.
You see the Doctors of Porkonomics are in there?
I did. That was
BWO, all right.
Yep. I mean, that was.
Oh, that's not a shock.
Yeah.
I think those were Dave's initial first picks were BWO.
I think he was so upset that Bob picked Edge.
Yeah.
As a singles wrestler, and he did Edge and Christian. He was angry, but I mean, he picked up some. All right,
he's got a banger of a roster.
I like this
roster, and not just because I'm in it with my tag team partner.
The other thing that was great
of Porkonomics
was when he drafted you.
I remember, I was like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "Don't worry about it."
Yeah, that was.
He drafted himself.
He did. Yeah.
I don't know why he drafted Stephanie McMahon. That's an interesting.
I don't know.
But I mean, really, if you look at this again, I would watch this show. This is a good roster.
It's a very David show, and a very good
David show.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, no Simpy.
He was big on.
I remember being real angry that he got Samoa Joe.
Yeah, he got no Simpy.
And real
Corey
angry.
Corey Graves was healthy at this time, and he was.
Yeah, and he was still wrestling.
Yeah, he was on his way up. He had just gotten into that Sami Zayn feud.
Yep.
That was a hell of a good pick. I mean, it's interesting.
Solid wrestler.
Do yours last. Yeah, do yours last. I want to see Michael Harmon's picks.
Michael Harmon going out on a limb and calling his show SmackDown.
Michael Harmon, not a wrestling fan.
No.
Everything Michael picked was probably by appearances.
NWO Silver, Bossman, Hogan, Randy Savage, and Sting.
It was the old guy. It was the old guy NWO.
Yep. Yeah, he got Spectral Envoy.
I remember that pissing me off, but he was like the master great.
Yeah. And I also like that he got Mike Tyson.
Yeah. And Michael Harmon.
He
got Mortis too, which I was irritated about. I'm a Mortis guy.
And Sin Cara.
For life.
Tiger Mask.
Fucking Tiger Mask. Oh, okay, stuck the Undertaker in there.
Taker. Goldust. I do like that he had a women's division.
He had a dedicated women's division.
3 women. I don't think anybody else.
Dave
had Stephanie McMahon.
He had a couple others, I think.
Stephanie,
Sarah
Del Rey.
AJ Lee.
Yeah, AJ Lee. Oh yeah, Long Island Mafia. I forgot about that. Yeah, that's funny. So yeah,
God damn it.
Michael Harmon, very much of a time. What was David's called? Oh yeah, AWA. All right, and rounding out our thing.
Spirits.
You can tell that mine is I like factions, baby. And I will say this is a pre-New Day thing here. And I don't know why he's in the tag division, but I don't have anybody else in there with him. So I don't know why that.
Your legacy team is great.
Yeah, see, I love that. Like I was hoping that would end up happening. It all fell apart with Randy Orton and everybody, So I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna get that back together. So
I mean, also, you did draft Colt Cabana, so you can eat it.
Page spelled wrong. Love that. Yeah, I mean, it's basically I was just like Factionville, Legacy, United Kingdom. I loved that. The Shield, Wyatt family, OG Wyatt family, Tokyo Pop, which I love me some Matt Bloom. So I was like, give me Yoshitatsu and Tensai. I don't really understand why Alicia Fox was with them at the time, but they didn't have anything for a do, so they're like, hey, go with these guys and be Harajuku or whatever you want to do. But yeah, I wanted women, so I got Paige, Natalia, Alicia Fox, and Beth Phoenix.
James want woman.
And then I just wanted to have a lot of factions. I love factions, and I love
you were building for the future.
I was building for the future.
You were building for that referee's trying to fuck on me.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was doing. Yeah, I don't know women's tag. I don't know what's going on here, but Matt John C. when he was facing Legacy was riding the Cody and Ted DiBiase Jr. That's awesome.
This is the thing. I think if you look at all the rosters, I think everybody's roster has a really interesting vibe to it, which is very much their vibe.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So
like this. If this ain't a Ben vibe, I don't know what a Ben vibe is.
It's like, hey, I'll take all those Japanese guys.
Yeah.
I'll take all those Chikara guys.
And then Hossy boys.
Yeah, and then Hoss
Stout Hossy boys too, right? Steen, Elgin, Sammy Callahan.
Yeah.
I mean, Vader was tall, but Vader also like
Vader and Bam Bam.
These all squares.
Yeah. Vader and Bam Bam, Hoss legends.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a weird roster though too. I mean, I've got Jigsaw in there, who I do think is highly overrated.
I believe El Generico was a retaliatory pick.
Yes.
Against Dave.
Yes. Generico was definitely a retaliatory pick.
Because I'm pretty sure
this is around the time
might have done this. And
where,
I think
where this shit started to get we started to get personal attacks in these things. Like when we did the heel turn music tournament. And someone did
we each had a veto.
Yeah, when someone veto powered to make sure that Legion of Doom's music got kicked out.
It wasn't to make sure they got kicked out. It was to make sure that Christian moved forward. It was a big difference.
It was some bullshit.
He is helping those orphans. What a man.
I hope one day he returns.
Returns
to us.
All very much on our shit.
I think the thing when I look at yours though, yours is interesting because it's full of folks who weren't big yet.
Yeah.
But who would become big. And then there's also Colt Cabana.
And then there's also Colt Cabana. Did you say?
Yeah. Fuck Colt Cabana.
Yeah. Well, at the time, I wanted comedy. I wanted a couple people that I knew I could put with some of these guys and have like a haha match. And I was like,
I would love to do this again, but not for a game, but instead like do like you can draft all time. You can draft like 3 trios. You can draft, 7 women. You can draft like 6 tag teams, and then like a roster of like 15 singles wrestlers. And just to see what it looks like.
We can make a prep school draft before the end of the year, baby.
Or we could just bring back heel turn.
Oh, we could just bring back heel turn.
I mean, hey, if you want heel turn back at any incarnation, let us know.
So yeah, that was our.
I would like to do this again. This looks like
this was a hoot, man.
But the other thing we could do it on is we
all had our like notes.
Yeah.
I just remember we all had our freaking little notebooks, and we were like, oh god, like somebody would get taken. We were like,
there was a lot of fuckery that was afoot in this whole deal.
Yes.
Much like the heel turn music tournament.
Yeah.
Where there was a lot of fuckery that went on.
I mean, honestly, the only reason that I got this roster is because I basically punted on any big name at the time.
Yeah, if I remember right, you stayed out of the fray. You were just like sniping.
Yeah, I was like, I just want my factions. I just want my factions. And I got them. I mean, really, like, there's no name on here that was higher than tag team, maybe at the time. I don't think anybody had won the Intercontinental belt yet. Maybe Curtis Axel was fucking with that.
Tensai was in the feud with John Cena. I think he actually, honestly, might have been. He or Wade Barrett might have been your biggest guys on that roster at the time.
Because Wade, nothing.
Drew was probably in 3-man band at this point.
Yeah. Yeah, in fact, maybe Beth Phoenix or Natalia were the only people that had a belt. Because Big E, I think, was still playing second fiddle to Dolph Ziggler.
Yeah, he had just gotten pulled.
But I loved him from NXT, right?
3 ain't enough. I need 5.
3 ain't enough. I need 5. Count it. This was. Yeah. In fact, I don't even know if all these people were up.
Yeah, they were.
Were they?
Yeah.
2013.
Yep. The Wyatts and the Shield were just up.
Yeah. But yeah. Anyway, very fun.
Well, that's a hell of a roster. I think if we look back at it, yours is probably the roster that best stands the test of time. There's very few people in it who are dickbags.
Yeah.
Unlike everybody else's roster.
I think David's is a pretty light dickbag roster. Corey Graves, John Cena, arguably.
Me.
Well, but we knew that going in, dude.
Yeah. Yeah.
Some dickbags there, but we knew that.
Yeah.
Some dickbags here, but we knew that.
This is dickbag heavy.
Yeah.
There's some real not
big bags.
Yeah.
But
heavy.
Look at who got it.
But I don't know why I'm Brian Pillman, but hey.
I think we were talking about him a lot at that point, and I think this might have been around when you and I started were thinking about watching other stuff together.
Yeah.
And sharing our favorite stuff, because we hadn't started a heel turn at this point beyond the monthly things.
I think this one then too when I was I was obsessed with the Hollywood Blondes.
Yeah.
Where I was telling everyone hey, the Hollywood Blondes were this great tag team.
And everybody was like, yeah. And I was like, okay, dude, yes.
Yeah.
Tell me.
I was like, how the fuck can you not believe it's Steve Austin and Brian Pillman doing this thing all the time?
Yeah.
Just being complete assholes constantly.
I mean,
great tag team.
That's my modus operandi.
Yeah, I was like, these guys are great.
I mean, you could describe heel turn the same way.
I think I was also trying to draw. I don't know who got Austin, but I think I was the other thing is I was maybe trying to put the Hollywood Blondes back together.
I don't know that anybody did.
I didn't see him.
Were there people that were off limits, or did we have a roster size limit?
I just don't think people Maybe somebody must have gotten him. No,
I don't see The
I don't
Rock
think
anywhere.
so. I don't think.
Yeah.
What? Who's that? Rock?
The Rock.
Yeah.
Is
Maybe.
did anybody have Nash?
Yeah. Bob
Okay.
had.
NWO Silver, baby.
Yeah. Scott, X Pac, Kevin
there's-
Nash.
No.
And, yeah. And then Hogan. Yeah. So Cordell and Michael both had New World Order. Or no, they had New Age Outlaws. Wait, who were there's
Well,
yeah,
that's,
Fish, right? Scott, X
Yeah,
Pac.
the OG
Yeah.
NWO.
Yeah.
and then what was like the time? Was there a time frame set up? Because you got it doesn't go any further back than like Attitude.
Some of I mean,
I got people older than the OG.
yeah.
Yeah, but like you would think somebody would have Andre or
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe we just
Piper.
I think it was what we had downloaded because we only had so many download slots, and I think it was what Ben had downloaded as well.
Yeah.
I
I think there was like 100 slots in that game.
I think 13 only had 50. I think that's why we didn't have some of these guys. They weren't in the game, and it was before they were really doing like heavy legend stuff. So I think that you were downloading like factions of people so that we could play and stuff too. So that might have been it. We might have just like not had those at that point because they were both kind of on the outs at that point,
Yeah.
And they hadn't done all the legends.
He taking his ball and gone home.
Yeah.
God damn it. So I want to do this again.
All right.
Like I said, what we talked about, not for a video game, but just like maybe even just like having fun and doing it. Or we could do it for Fire Pro. Although we'd have to figure out how to do it in Fire Pro. Fire Pro's weird.
I think we just do fun. I think we just do fun stuff.
I think good.
I think we could.
We'll just have to find people.
Yeah.
And see. And like I said, I think we set a limit of a roster cap for men.
Yeah.
Singles, women's singles. Do we do women's tag teams?
I don't know. I think that the thing was great about this was I don't think we put those limitations on. We put limitations on how people could be drafted, but we didn't say you had to have a women's division.
I think we put a cap on your
roster number.
Your roster number.
Yeah.
Not counting managers. Because like I don't want to have to spend a slot on Jim Cornette, but goddamn do I want the Midnight Express.
Okay.
And it's not just because they have fucking the best entrance music, maybe of all time. Fuck you, James. You know it's a banger.
Christian.
It's the song from fucking from Midnight Express. So isn't that the movie Midnight Express?
There is a movie Midnight Express.
All right. I must have.
You know what about that? It's from the movie. The NWA got in trouble for using it. Did Peter Blatty? Not Peter Blatty. Who's the guy who directed The Exorcist? Blatty wrote it.
It wasn't Blatty? No.
No, Blatty wrote Exorcist.
That's right.
I'm trying to think who.
So was it fucking like the Tubular Bells guy?
No, it was the guy who directed.
Well, right, but was that the song? Like the
No, goddamn, I'm not expressing myself very well.
All right, I'm gonna let you guys express to each other. I gotta go. Gotta be somewhere to.
William Friedkin.
Yeah.
Buddy Freakin'. Yeah.
He did a movie. That's what that's from. It was from. God dang it! I am struggling today. Wasn't the French Connection? Is there a movie then? Maybe it wasn't Friedkin. Was there a movie called Midnight Express that was a big movie? It was about
I think there was a Midnight Express movie, yeah.
Midnight Cowboy. All right. I love you guys. I gotta go.
No, it was Midnight Express.
Have a good one, man. Catch you later.
Bye, Matt, or bye, James. Yeah, it was a movie called Midnight Express. The soundtrack to that movie is a banger, and that's what the song Midnight Express. That's what the Midnight Express used, which is funny because it's a movie about getting arrested in Turkey for smuggling drugs. It's not a
As one does.
yeah, it's not a happy movie. But Gigiori Moroder did the
Oh, Marauder.
soundtrack, and it's like fucking very like synthy,
Yeah.
very oh god, it feels very like Italian.
Okay. Yeah.
It feels like a 70s Italian movie, but that's where they get the song that they use that do 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 do. That's from that movie,
Okay.
which is crazy. That someone was like, "Hey, for our sexy Russell boys with beautiful Bobby Eaton and Sweet Stan Lane, because that was back when they were them. That they were the
Yep.
two. And before that, it was Dennis Conroy, who I can't remember what Dennis's little nom de plume was. Was he Dangerous Dennis? Or was he Condry? Not Condroy. He had like was it? I can't remember what his little was. It Dangerous Dennis or some shit like that. And then later on, he was in the Paul Heyman's Midnight Express.
Okay.
When they feuded with the Midnight Express, when Paul came back with the original Midnight Express with Randy Rhoads, and they jumped the Midnight Express.
That was, and at that point he was Loverboy.
Loverboy, that was what it was. He was always Loverboy Dennis Connery.
Okay.
Loverboy Dennis Connery. What a name. I'm trying to figure out what the song though from that soundtrack is that they used. Was it Chase? Yeah, it was Chase. This is the name of the song off the Midnight Express film soundtrack that the beautiful Midnight Express from the NWA used as their music. Because it is the fucking bomb. Which again, it's a movie about going to Turkish prison. This will be great for our tag team.
I mean, most of the fans probably hadn't seen it, so
no.
I mean,
this is primarily a. They were primarily in Georgia, I think, at this point.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't think this was high on the list of people in Georgia when going to see a movie called Midnight Express. So, oh, you mean them wrestlers? No. All right.
Yeah. What did you have? What did you have on the docket today? Did you have anything?
Not much. We may end early.
All right.
In fact, let's end early, Matt. We've been good boys.
Okay. What did you want?
I have to pull all of our stuff that we can off of StreamYard today in my subscription, and then move stuff over to Streamlabs and get a subscription there, since it's $7 as opposed to the $50 plus that StreamYard is now charging me, because while I adore my new job, I actually really do. It's very good.
Oh, good. I'm glad you're digging it.
It was a little around a $7,000 pay cut. So
yeah. So you gotta if there's stuff that you don't need, yeah.
And then our car touched us up for four different trips in 3 weeks. Oh, my car's needed 4 trips to the mechanic in 3 weeks. So, somewhere around $6,000.
Oh.
So yeah, last week during when it was snowing, I was going home from work and the window fell out.
Oh,
so that was great. The driver's side just went boop. So that's going to be anywhere from $200 to $600 more. But hopefully that's
Holy shit.
So yeah, it's been butts, especially with Christmas here. And
anybody's gonna hold it against you.
And my Severance seeming awesome on paper, but reality not being awesome, and having to wait so long to get any of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially with taxes. I'd forgotten that severance is also taxable income.
Yep.
And god damn.
Yeah, I can't remember if they tax at a different rate or whatever. I know like bonuses and stuff that they do weird stuff with.
So literally, after all said and done with my severance, I got paid an extra 2 weeks. So I paid for what I needed to pay for, but
right.
So yeah, it's been a little rough, a little tight lately. It'll be a little tight probably for a couple more months. But hey, good news was the where I used to work, you could do a program where you set up goals for yourself, and then you could get reimbursed for achieving those goals through Amazon gift cards.
Yeah.
So all my gifts for my boys, my beautiful boys,
you don't need to.
all was paid for by old work.
Well,
the only thing I had to pay on that was fucking taxes. I paid
you take care of yourself.
$12 for everybody's gifts this year, and I was very stoked about that. And I didn't give all the gifts I normally give.
Nor should you have. You
special people to me, yourself included, Matthew, are getting a gift. It's not as extravagant, but it's a gift anyway.
Nor does it need to be.
Matthew, I'll give you the same warning I give my family. If you start whining about Christmas gifts, it's gonna get worse.
I'm not whining. I'm saying you take care of yourself first.
I told them this year you're not getting gifts. And they all gave me the oh, that's okay, it's the thought that counts and all that. We don't need to get us anything. And I told them, like, you're not getting gifts this year. But if you guys pull this shit and start doing the whole like, it's okay and all that, next year will be fucking worse. So don't. I'm already frustrated enough about it. Don't make me Christmas revenge you. So yeah, good times, getting stuff done. I got a bonus, which was wild, but it wasn't a lot. And then after 90 days, I get a big bonus. So,
well, good. Yeah, and because you're you, I think you're gonna wow them. They're gonna find something to do with you.
Things are going really well. I got talked to on Thursday by my supervisor, who stopped on her way out and had like a 20-minute conversation and was like, "Hey, we just want to let you know, you're doing really great. Like you're way, 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 way ahead of the curve." And I was like, "I don't feel like that." And was also like, all the people love you. It's crazy. Everyone talks good about it. I said, well, just wait about 60 days when I have to throw somebody out of here, discharge them because they fucked up. We'll see if I'm that loved then.
I think it's how you do it.
Yeah, but at the same time, it don't take much to get a shitty reputation either.
So. Well, I mean, yeah.
All right. Matt, I'm sure you got shit to do. I'm gonna try to get this stuff off Streamlabs. Our StreamYard, and then I'm gonna tell them you can't charge me $50 anymore. Eat a dick, and then I'm gonna start trying to figure out Streamlabs. So you get an early one today. I'm letting you out of class early. But hey, we love you. We'll try to get things going on the other format. It's gonna take a little bit for some of us, mainly me, to learn how to use it effectively, but we'll get going. And I guess I'll see you, like most of you, Thursday for Meng. I got a Geldor box to open up, so.
Ooh.
Before
we do log off, I will set you free, but I do want to share I got some work to do yet, but I will share this that I finished up. Among other things that I've been working on that I cannot share. But.
Oh, you know what, Matt? I'm going to let you talk for a little bit. I'll be right back.
No. Oh, all right. Well, I guess I'm talking for a little bit. Yeah. So Ben is going to do a thing. Got to paint his cuffs yet, so we'll have to get him upstairs and pop him in the oven so I forgot that he had actual cuffs because a lot of those Marvel Legends sleeves just go all the way down. And then, yeah, pretty much. I'm not 100% on how it looks with the other arms in, but I don't know. I think I'm going to have to learn to live with it because I don't want to try and find different arms for him. God damn it. And his vest just separated, so I'll have to fix that. But so, yeah, I don't know. His shoulders seem a little weird, but yes, I've got other stuff that I can't quite share at the moment because it was for the secret swap before I dip out of Instagram forever. Um, lousy. Yeah, I don't know. Super Spike, Shaggy, what do you got going today? Anything exciting, fun, interesting, or just taking the day as it comes? I did not have the opportunity to take Friday off, so I didn't get a long week or a long weekend like some people. But just catching up on stuff. It's nice. Just doing my weekly eBay listings until I burn through all of my G.I. Joes. Nice. See, yeah, that's how it should be. Just take it slow, take it easy. And yeah, nobody else has done anything since Tuesday, Shaggy. So I don't think you got to worry. You're in good company there. Everybody checked out, which made Friday at work very easy for me. But I still had to be there. So my Skeletron or my Roboskull is supposed to show up today. That's going to be rad. Excited for that. Open that bastard up, and then figure out what to do with the other one. I don't know if I want to ship the other thing, but I do have both Roboskulls to deal with. And the guy who was going to buy my Super 7 Snake Mountain finally gave up after like a year. So now I got to try and find somebody to buy that friggin' thing. Just to get it out of the closet. I don't know where Ben went here, but or what he's doing. Okay, yeah. I think they're shipping those a little bit later, Spike, but I think they are still, coming relatively soon, even though they're shipping them a little bit later. So, did you just get some of the figures then, and then add on the skull, the Robo Skull itself later? Or? And I'm really hoping that the 6-inch figures aren't too far behind because I'm really excited for those, especially Skeletron. But I'm guessing those are going to be in the next year at least, which is a bummer. Okay. Yeah, my stand is coming Monday. They've got to be getting eaten alive on the shipping stuff, just, sending all this stuff separately. But I guess that's, they want to get us the product. So that's their call. It's cool. They're willing to do it. Yeah, I think my stand is coming through the regular mail for whatever reason. Whatever their fulfillment places decided that was the way to do it. So that is, I think, supposed to come Monday. I don't know. Monday or Tuesday. I've got my latest pile of loot, which is also coming, I believe, Monday, which will be nice. I'll get caught up on the Jada Street Fighter stuff anyway. Excited for that. There wasn't a whole lot else in there. Let's see if Ben actually comes back. Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to do the ecto. I guess I've got till end of the day tomorrow to decide on that. I like it's really cool, and I wouldn't mind having it, but I don't know. I've been spending quite a bit lately, and I'm definitely feeling that. So I don't know if I want to, you know, add another $300 or whatever to the pile. I mean, I guess it's a one-time deal, but I don't know. It'll probably get me because I am a big enough Ghostbusters fan. It seems like they did a really good job with it, so I might.
Sorry about that.
No, it's all right.
Sometimes the things happen. We'll not go
Yeah.
into more details than that.
Nope.
So you were going to show me something.
Oh yeah, I'll just I'll back up here. Well, and as I was showing it to them, the various aspects of it now need to be fixed. So I'll have to I mean, it was going to happen anyway, apparently, whether I did it or not. But
oh goddamn, Mayor Luke Cage.
yes, and then I got this hop on here, but yeah, I'm going to have to. I realized I forgot to paint the cuffs on his.
It looks good, Matt.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy with it.
Oh, that looks great.
So yeah, I'm gonna have to get upstairs, boil it, get those cuffs painted. Now the glue on his vest failed for a second time, so I'm gonna have to fix that again too.
Well, what happened?
Oh, I think it's just the combination of the paint and then the tension on it. It just popped open. It's easy enough to fix. It's just a pain.
Combination of the pocket wound and the spaz chop were too much for him.
Mm-hmm. Well, and that was all I had. So I will.
Matthew, I want to ask you a couple questions that came to my mind.
All right.
Did you happen to see the video I sent this morning?
I have not yet. No.
Okay. So it's very interesting, and it makes me very upset.
Oh, hey, Mitch.
Mitch makes me very upset. We never got this mystical Commandy series by Evan Dorkin and Andrea Dwyer.
That is a shame.
Where the premise, as Dorkin put it, was Commandy gets cock blocked by everything. And it's Commandy as like a horny teenager who realizes that if he doesn't repopulate the earth, that's the end. So it's like horny panic teenager.
All right.
And I was like, I really want to see this now.
I guess I can see why they didn't go for it, but
well, it was for Adult Swim.
Okay.
Which is like also you're asking Dorkin and Dwyer to pitch this.
Yeah,
like, you know what you're getting.
Yeah. Anyway, and then Adult Swim sometimes makes some real boneheaded moves too.
Yeah, Jesus. Especially like, and yeah, it predates the Harley Quinn show, but I mean, like Harley Quinn and Hell Yeah, Kite Man. I mean, this would be a perfect time to revisit that fucking pitch.
I'm sure. I'm sure. Evan Dorkin would be into it because he could use some work.
Is he not getting work anymore?
Not really.
Why not?
I don't know. I know he's had some health stuff. That's kind of
That sucks. I've always liked Evan Dorkin, which saying that out loud may instantly make sure that he's like some kind of gross person.
No, I haven't.
Because once I go like, oh yeah, person, I kind of dig them. It turns out they're a complete shitbag. Anyway, someone pointed out, and I wanted your thoughts on it, that there are some significant parallels between Commandy and Adventure Time.
And I have not seen Adventure Time, so I cannot speak to that. Danny does not like animation, and I just don't have much time to watch stuff on my own. So, and I think at the time when it was airing, I didn't have a way to watch it. I certainly could now, but I don't know when.
Adventure Time is very good, Matthew.
I've heard. Yeah, I certainly have no.
So Danny puts the kibosh on all this stuff, huh?
Well, she doesn't put the kibosh on it,
this is what I'm hearing, Matt, is that that your better half is like, we're not doing that, and you're like, I guess.
No, I mean, if I wanted to sit around and watch Adventure Time by myself, I would.
If I want to do this by myself, I would be able to do it by myself.
But yeah,
I would prefer to spend time with my wife.
Yeah, we have a limited amount of time in which we're watching stuff together, so I prefer to watch things that we both enjoy.
Did you ever get it to her the films I had recommended?
They're still on the list.
Okay.
We will get to them. What have we been doing lately?
Yeah, what have you been doing lately?
We watched a Yacht Rock documentary yesterday.
Oh, I heard that. I heard someone else brought that up, and it sounded really good.
It was enjoyable. And then tonight we're gonna watch that. I think we're gonna watch that Chinese action horror thing that I shared to you that was on Tubi, Rigor Mortis.
Oh yeah.
With the hopping vampires.
I love the Qingxi vampires.
Yeah, so I think we'll watch that tonight, and then.
Well, as long as you don't watch Thanksgiving.
No.
It was fucking awful. Actually, it was also very Adult Swim, except for 2 parts that made me hate it. So.
Oh, okay.
But you know, raped by a demonic turkey, and just some casual, racism, misogyny. Cool. But otherwise, it was very funny. It was very bizarre funny. It just those 2 parts just ruin it. Just fucking.
Did you ever watch Yule-log?
I've seen Yule-log, yes.
Okay. And then Danny and her brother went last weekend and saw Heretic, which they both enjoyed.
Heretic.
It's a new horror movie with Hugh Grant.
Yeah, it looks awesome.
Yeah, they both enjoyed that. So
yeah, I watched Azrael on Shudder, which is the woman from Ready or Not, whose name escapes me, and she has no lines in the whole movie.
No,
and it's about a post-rapture world. Where there's an entire sect who are trying to gain back the love of God by burning out their vocal cords.
Oh.
And they're trying to sacrifice her to these things that live in the woods, which are essentially demons, and she gets away.
Okay.
Ooh. First I read that and I thought, Jack Kirby has a game, but...
We should be so lucky.
Yeah. I wish, baby. Yeah, so I don't know. I know Cassandra and I are supposed to watch something today, but I don't remember what it is. Besides Hermitcraft. So but I gotta take care of this Streamlabs issue first. So wish me Godspeed on this, because
you get it.
That means I have to learn an entire new system, which is very much like OBS Lite. Which is fine, but I've used OBS before. But I'm a little intimidated because StreamYard is stupid expensive, but it's also very user friendly for lazy people.
I think you get it. I think you can figure it out. I have faith in you. You're a smart dude.
I also have help, but I have to track down the help to do it. So yeah, I don't know. That's kind of my goal, is to fiddle with that for a little bit and see if I can at least get things as soon as this uploads. I'm canceling our subscription. So
all right, on. Well, I wish you luck. I think you can do it.
Are you on
Tuesday? I'll be back next Tuesday.
Okay. If you want, we're doing Ming on Thursday. If you want to pop in and say hello, hopefully Colin will be there. If not, I'll be flying solo, baby, because his work schedule's all over the place. So,
especially at this time of year, I'm sure.
Yeah, I hope he survived yesterday.
I mean, the nice thing, at least,
I can reach out to him real quick and ask him if he's doing okay.
At least in my experience with the holidays, they load it up, so it goes super quick. Because it's you're just moving all day, so, but
yeah, I think it's less the work part of it and it's just the shitty people.
Yeah.
So yeah, it sounds like I may have gotten Beard to want to do some heel turn. We'll see. We don't have a game this week. Oh shit. Does that mean I'm off the 9th? So yeah, well, Star Wars is the 9th. 16th is Chaos Scar. Okay, perfect. I'm shooting for Monday the 6th of January 2025 for DC.
Okay.
So I've got to get something up completely and fully thought through. That's true, Mitch. You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
Unfortunately.
So I will put out, it may be the end of January instead of the beginning. We'll see, depending on how much I can get done and feel very comfortable with. Because the system's not a worry. It's the story beats that are the worry.
Yeah.
As I
take the time you need.
Yeah. I told you he's our retail daddy. I'm very excited for you to reveal all of this, Mitch. We've talked a little about. I know the scantest bits. So this is the thing too, man. I know Mitch and I talked about this already off a stream. I think the next DC will be less deep lore. So my goal is to like every other
kind of pull it back
trilogy, pull it back into a more of like a well, there'll still be deep cuts in it, but not as like crazy metatextual. So also I realized today that there was a group of characters, like an organization that we could take and use in place of the Joint Chiefs idea, and it would be the Global Peace Agency, which was was the Kirby masked individuals in suits that all look the same.
Yep, and they those came back as I'm trying to remember where.
My guess would be in Checkmate or something like that.
Yeah, it was around Final Crisis, I want to say.
Yeah. I'd also like to possibly even use some like with that some Thunder Agent style stuff with that. Maybe Mitch, exactly. Maybe even use some very similar stuff to Thunder Agents since they were part of the DC universe for a while. Oh, I didn't know that. That's kind of cool. But also thinking to the DC animated Justice League Unlimited stuff where they had the all the superhero characters that were analogs from the cartoon that never were in the books.
Well, and what was
they were like made to be short term and then die, and that group realized, oh, Cadmus is just using us as cannon fodder. I don't want to die. The Ultiman, yes, the Ultiman.
Yeah, and then there was the Everyman Project too.
Everyman Project. I don't think I'm familiar with that.
It's part of 52.
Was that Luthor's?
Yeah.
Infinity program.
Yeah.
All right, I gotta write this down.
Actually, yeah, I think.
Just when I thought I was in, I'll start pulling you back in. Yeah, so those two for sure. Also, I didn't realize that apparently Commandy from a world where the world didn't end becomes Tommy Tomorrow.
I think I knew that and then forgot it. But
what was Project Everyman? Because that was Luthor's thing was Infinity Inc.
That was the team of the results of the Everyman Project. The Everyman Project was like, hey, sign up and you can get superpowers. And then I think
I just remember that frightening scene of it was like the opening panel of one of those 52 issues where people are just falling from the sky because he turns everything off.
Yeah.
And just being like, that is one of the most effective. I mean, look at how old is that comic? I still remember that opening panel of the book because it was just like this whole, like, holy shit moment. Like, oh, so Lex is just killing all these people.
Yeah.
Just, you know,
I don't give a shit.
casually. I would say too, one thing I would be interested in hearing from you and Mitch and just whoever are areas of the DC universe that you would be interested in, like, plumbing the depths of. That was a terrible way to use it.
I'll have to think about that.
Because there's areas I think that I don't mind learning about that I don't know about.
Now that I'm actually reading some DC books again.
Ooh, what are you reading?
I've been picking up the current Birds of Prey run, which has been really good. Justice League Unlimited or whatever.
I love the Tangent universe.
Yeah, Tangent's fun. The new Justice League book I picked up. You know,
I think that looked very good.
Grab the new Question book, the first issue of that. That was good.
And that's Renee as the head of security for the Justice League.
Yeah, she's basically the sheriff of the Watchtower or whatever you want to call it.
I like that Mark Waid really must have loved the Justice League Unlimited cartoon because boy, he's borrowing an awful lot from it.
It's a good good hook, and then because I like Christopher Cantwell's stuff, whatever it is so far. He's doing the Challenge of the Unknown book, so
which they're also part of the Watchtower crew.
Yep. So yeah,
I think is a great use of those characters.
Yes, and I do like that. You know, I don't know how exactly what the rules are going to be, but basically, it's like, you know, everybody can be a challenger of the unknown, but when you're a challenger, you have to wear the uniform. So there's, you know, the challenger specific uniforms for like Superman.
I honestly think, just based upon what I know about what they're doing right now, and I just know it from watching videos of other people reading it, and giving their feelings on it. I feel like DC has turned a big corner.
See,
people are saying that Absolute Power was one of the best crossover things in the last like 20 years.
Okay, I didn't check it out at all, but
as a reset for DC.
Mm-hmm.
And that there seems to be, for the first time in a long time, a complete everyone's on board feeling. Really? I want to hear how those are because I have not heard anything about that, but they're both interesting concepts. I like weird, obscure DC stuff. It's always more fun than weird, obscure Marvel stuff. Although I like weird, obscure Marvel stuff too. It's just generally not as fun. It's more like serious weird.
There's some fun stuff there, but yeah, you're right. There's less of it.
Like I love the Skrulls book where they're like, it's like they're pretending to be humans. They get figured out.
Mm-hmm.
That book's great. I can't remember the name of it, but that book's amazing.
It was just the Skrulls.
That Skrull Kill Crew I loved. I loved the Vision book that
it's Tom King.
Tom King, who writes the same story repetitively a lot, from different perspectives. It was very good, which I do think he does that, but I think he makes it interesting and uses it from the perspective of the character really well. So the story never feels like it's the same story. It always feels like it's variations on a theme. Yeah, I do agree with that. I think Ghost Machine is Jeff Johns and crew basically going, we're just going to do what DC wouldn't let us do. So,
and that's fine. Go over there and do that. I don't need to read it.
Yeah. But I also like the fact that JSA is now back connected to the DC universe proper.
Yes.
Because I also didn't think I felt like that was maybe John's cashing in his last favor.
It seemed like it. Yeah. And
I wanted to tell the story that I didn't get to tell, like, however many runs ago. So, but yeah, it feels like DC, finally has a unified. I love Peter Tomasi. Yeah, I agree with that. That DC finally has a generalized direction, and that all the creators aren't trying to play in their own little fiefdoms now, which is good. And I think a lot of that has to do with no more Dan Didio, and I also feel like DC found itself a little under the gun. So they've answered the call,
I'll probably give it a couple more issues before I lend it to you, just where it lines up. But I did also pick up the first issue of One for Sorrow, which is Jamie McKelvey's new book. It's him top to bottom. I mean, he's not doing colors or lettering, but it's his art and writing and all that stuff, and that was really good. So,
what's the premise?
I can't go into it too much without giving stuff away, but it's set in like Victorian England.
Ooh.
And there is a killer called, I can't remember if it's the Magpie or the Raven. Anyway, going around and killing people for reasons that are not really known. So yeah, any more than that, and I will probably spoil something. So
doesn't our boy have a book coming out soon? I thought I'd read.
Which one?
You know who our boy is, Matt.
Well, I mean, there is a current we're 2 issues in on a new Wermonster as well.
Oh, really? Okay, that's when it must have been. How is it?
Good so far, yeah.
Is it pick up where the last
yes
story ended? Okay.
Yep. I'm trying to remember what else he's got. He's got a lot of stuff coming. So,
well, Peacemaker Tries Hard was fucking great.
Well, I know you also enjoyed blah 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 Marvel Unleashed. So
Marvel Unleashed was very fun too. I did not expect that ending to hit me in the balls as hard as it did. I think for those who know, I sent Matt a message being like, "You motherfucker, how dare you?"
I mean, it tugs at the
yeah,
heartstrings.
that book at the end tugged at all the heartstrings. It was as manipulative as a James Gunn soundtrack. It was really good though. I think there's been a really cool kind of renaissance for superhero pet stories, and
yeah,
I'm here for it. You know what? I am fucking here for it. So it was nice to read that and not be like, oh, okay, more like, oh god, this was really touching. All right, so I hauled this out.
That's okay.
For where? Look at that. That looks good.
Ooh. Yeah.
Legion's belt, boy. I don't know if I'll be on this figure, but I like it.
That is looking good.
Does look good. I wish I could find a purple Shiki Baby headdress, because then it would be on this one. But I could always, I guess, color it or dye it or something too. But I have not grabbed. Hold on, I got to go back a little bit, Mitch. Yeah, hey, Matt led me Absolute Batman, and it was very good.
Yeah,
and I heard the second issue is fucking insane.
Oh yeah, you're absolutely right, Mitch, on that Wonder Comics Dial H. I'll dig those out for Ben. I've got those.
I have the stuff that China Melville did.
Oh no, this is I can't remember who wrote it, but it was Joe Quinones on the art, and it's great because he does different art styles.
Oh, really?
For the different heroes that get dialed up. So
I played in a DC game in college, and my character had the hero dial.
Nice.
That was his power, and my friend who was running it made an entire list of 100 weird. And the one I generally kept landing on was a chef. There was also a giant rabbit named Hassan Pfeffer. and it was a fun time.
Yeah, it might have been Humphreys. I can't remember, but yeah, it's like what J.H. Williams 3 did on his when he was doing um, the Batman stuff with Morrison, where like each member of the League of Heroes was
Oh,
drawn.
it's a different art style. Oh,
Well,
God, I love
this
that.
is that to the extreme because it's like, oh yeah, here's this hero and he's kind of got like manga like kind of origin and powers and vibes. So we're gonna just draw him looking like Masumune Shirao or whatever. There's
Nice.
there's like a Lee Fieldy imagey sort of character. So yeah,
That's like that thing I sent, a video I sent you. They talk about like doing weird stuff with not just the art, but more with like the naming conventions. Like there was going to be another character in there called Commando, who was just going to be a guy who was raised in Command Bunker O, but was also like a very jacked 80s action movie dickhead. And I was like, that's really good.
yeah.
Like, yeah. What are they done anything with Intimetal lately? Because like, okay, here's another thing, Matt. And if you got to go, just tell me. But like, I read this Hawkman stuff at the end of what's the New 52 or something, where like Hawkman, like it was okay, but the whole thing was like the end, like Hawkman dies, like he just stays old and doesn't reincarnate. He makes a deal with the Hawk God basically, to like, oh, I did what you wanted. I've been the whole thing was that he was like he had to save like as many souls as he had killed.
Okay.
Which I thought was interesting.
Yeah.
But I'm like, and then there was the whole thing during like death metal or in pre-death metal with the whole the Batman Who Laughs turning people into, whatever.
Yeah.
And Hawkman, like before even that, Hawkman was like this like hawk god that was like hammering out the history or something. I don't know. I don't really get that. But as someone who Hawkman's one of their favorite characters, I was a Hawkman fan, was lost in the sauce. So like I'm curious what happened with that, and if any of that has carried over into where we are now in DC continuity, or is that all like a complete wipe? I mean, it's so hard to tell with some of those characters that have, like I said, I'm a Hawkman fan. I love Hawkman. He's probably my second favorite comic book character. So like I'm always like, what is DC doing with this character? Like, what are you doing over there? What's that thing you've got over there? But I don't. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's frustrating. Also, I just hollowed this belt out. I think it looks pretty good.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That's a big boy belt. It's got to go on a barbarian guy. So yeah, I don't know, man. I was just curious if anybody knew, because was death metal 5 years ago? Jesus fucking Christ!
At least, yeah.
I'm so old, Matt. Like, time is just flying by to a degree I can't even comprehend. Now it's not even years; it's like days. Like I said, I thought today was the 30th, and then I was like, "Oh shit, it's the first." Fuck me. Sandra's like, "When do you get paid?" And I'm like, "I don't know. I gotta look that up on paper. I don't fucking know things." Expect me to have knowledge of like how we're gonna pay our bills? All I know is the checks keep coming and I keep paying bills. That's all that matters, baby. So yeah, I think like I love the idea of using Project Everyman, the Ultiman, and Luthor's Infinity Inc. project as something under the Global Peace Agency. I also love the Tangent universe a lot.
Yeah, Tangent's good stuff.
I also am intrigued by using these Stan Lee crates. Some of those characters.
Yeah, I mean they've popped back up. So
what was that called? Stan Lee Presents.
Stanley Presents, yeah.
Are there any other like well-known alternative DC or sublines that are interesting? You find interesting, or Mitch or anyone else? Shaggy, Spike, whoever else might be popping in and out of this.
I'm pretty sure there are. I'm trying to remember.
A universe of unproduced superpowers figures.
There's all the Elseworlds stuff, and there's kind of like the sub universes within like the Elseworlds stuff. As far
I feel like those are like things to touch upon and not dig deep into unless there's a significant plan.
yeah,
But I feel like with like some of these sublines, oh man, excuse me, that coffee's hitting hard. Like the Tangent and the Stanley Presents and some of those things, I feel like those are very, very easy to fold in and interesting facets. I'm always real reticent to use milestone stuff because for the mere fact of like, I'm a white dude. But yeah, I'm having a hard time thinking of anything that was really wildly interesting, I guess. I don't know. Sounds silly to say it that way.
yeah.
So if people come up with ideas, though, put them in the Discord, and I'll start factoring them into plans. Now, is the Great Cataclysm? That's the same as the event that caused Commandees.
Yes.
What's the Great War then? Or the Great Disaster? Is that the same thing?
Same thing. Yeah.
Those are the same event then?
I believe so.
Okay. God, I just had one on the tip of my tongue and it just ran away because I had another one. And I was like, well, what about this? Oh, I hate it when I forget stuff.
Oh, yeah. No, we had talked about Impact.
Impact. That was the other one. Which also, if we're just using that stuff, then I would just add to that Infinity Inc. Project Everyman Ultimate would just be the Thunder Agents program.
I suppose technically, Wildstorm or America's Best Comics, but
America's Best, that was like the Tom Strong stuff, right?
yeah, that was all the more.
Wasn't the Hercules Unleashed stuff, wasn't, or that was the Implosion where Atlas had his own comic? And it's the first time we see like the Atlas we get later on that shows up in other DC books, like showed up in Superman, I think, primarily. Okay. There was another one I was thinking of, and I would also like to use the Demon Knights timeline.
Okay.
Did anyone else read that besides me?
I did not.
I have the trades. I love that book. The mere fact that it's Vandal Savage as a barbarian who thinks everything is fucking hilarious, especially if it's something he hasn't done before, because he's like, listen, I've been alive for thousands of years.
Yeah.
I've killed and eaten and destroyed all these things. And the fact of the matter that, it's basically a D&D adventure with these DC characters, Jason Blood and Etrigan, who are both with Madame Xandu because she kind of plays them against each other. And we get to see, like, every time Jason turns into Etrigan, he goes to hell. So he's stuck in hell.
Oh, so it's kind of the Captain Marvel.
Yeah, it's kind of, but hell, I think, is worse than the negative zone. Especially because Lucifer knows you're in hell. So there's also points where he will refuse to go back, even though he's being tortured because it fucks Etrigan over. They are actively antagonistic towards each other. Madame Xandu, there is a Shining Knight is in that book. There is a Amazonian whose name escapes me who is banished, who is into Shining Knight, but also is like pick a gender kind of thing.
Ah,
So there's that whole kind of sub thing going on, which is interesting. There's a woman who is trapped on her horse, like cursed to be on a horseback, called the Horsewoman. But like when that horse dies, she can just connect to a new horse.
oh,
But it's also you're living with the guilt of like these animals you love are dying constantly.
sure.
Also, it's Vandal Savage trading sides constantly. Just being like, and then going, no, I knew that was going to work out for everybody in the end. And what are you going to do? Also, having no chill when it comes to potential betrayals. One of the trades opens with him having ostensibly one of his teammates and having been torturing them for almost 10 years daily because of a real or imagined slight. And then when the tables get turned, he's like, hey, I think this is all water under the bridge now. I think we're even. You fucked me over that one time and I tortured you for 10 years, so we're good. I'm trying to think who else is in that book. Yeah, that book's a joy. It kind of has the same vibe as like Captain Britain and MI13 and like Agents of Atlas, where it's like has definitive consequences for those characters who we know will live further, or has consequences for the majority of the universe, but it's so far removed that they get to do wild shit.
Yeah.
Ooh. Hey, I'll say this too with both of you. Layers and Feelings, easy system to run. If any time you guys want to say, hey, I got a story I want to tell, I'm happy to make a guy and just play.
Okay.
But I'm trying to think if there was. So there's only 3 trades of Demon Knights. But yeah, I will definitively. I just reread it not too long ago. I'll grab it and bust it out for you, Matt. Did anybody read the Infinity Men?
I don't even know how you even heard of that.
It was a book, I think New 52, and it was about other immortals in the DC universe.
It wasn't Infinity Men. What was it?
Was it? Well, I thought it was called the Infinity Men for some reason.
No. Was it Infinity Man and the Forever People?
Yes, I think that was it.
Okay, yeah.
Also, one thing I want to point out about Dorkin's Commandy real quick before I forget it again. One of the stories would have had Commandy find a group of humans who worshipped IKEA, and they lived in an old IKEA store, and all their tribal stuff was named after IKEA furniture. But within the IKEA building, there lived a Minotaur. And I was like, this is the fucking best. Like, I want this so badly. Or if you've read Commandy, you know what Flower is?
Yes.
Flower in his version is from a tribe of cannibals who eat their mates. So it's like Commandy's all about getting with her, but also is like, I don't think this will end well for me. It kind of reminds me of if Commandy was maybe Morty from Rick and Morty a little bit, which I also thoroughly love. It might have been. DC did so many of those. It was the Immortal Men. You're right.
Oh, it was the Immortal Men. Yeah, that was the other one. Yep.
I feel like they did so many like quick rebrands.
Yeah.
I still, and I used them a little bit with all those characters like Damage and Sideways and those characters. I think they still have legs. I don't know if I would figure out how to bring them back from that initial story because I kind of used them as the dudes who were like, hey, Dan, put us back in the books.
Yeah. I mean, they surprised me if they
I know Sideways apparently showed up in a Teen Titans thing not terribly long ago.
Yeah, somebody will find a reason to pull them back out and do something with them. It wouldn't surprise me.
So yeah, one of the things I want to do with it is try to find all the toys in the toy box that don't get enough love, I guess. I especially like the Ultiman because of the idea of it being those cartoon characters from the old Super Friends who rarely ever got any type of love in the DC universe proper. What was it like? It was Black Vulcan, Apache Chief. Was the Wonder Twins, but I think the Wonder Twins now actually have some legs in the DC universe.
A little bit, yeah.
Samurai. Who else was it? Because there was other characters who were from the Superpowers line. There was like a Arrow guy.
The characters.
Eldorado.
It was
Cyclotron.
Eldorado, Apache Chief, Golden Pharaoh. And
wasn't like a cyclotron guy or something like you popped his chest.
Cyclotron was a villain actually, but Cyclotron
he was a villain.
Yeah, he was pre-existing though. I don't know why they put him in the line. But yeah, he existed prior to the superpowers. I don't know what they were planning there. That was a weird one.
I'm gonna look him up. Oh shit, he was like a
Adam, maybe?
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah, because I was like, who the hell is this guy? Yeah, I always thought he had kind of a cool look.
Yeah, I thought he was a good guy too, bitch. He's got a great look. He had a history with the Justice Society as a source of power and inspiration for the Atom and Atom Smasher. Oh, a new incarnation of Cyclotron named Clarence Sims appears in DC Rebirth. He's a member of the Suicide Squad before Amanda Waller kills him for attempting to betray her.
Yeah, sounds like Amanda.
An original incarnation of Cyclotron appears in the Superpowers collection. I have that book, that big Kirby trade. Tie-in comic, this version, also known as Alex LeWitt, is an android built by Superman who has knowledge of every superhero and supervillain, can perform powerful twister punches, and is mostly incapable of independent thought. Oh God, that's creepy.
Oh yeah, that's weird.
So kind of a Red Tornado stand-in.
Sort of, yeah.
Bizarre.
But also, like, what are you doing, Clark? It's kind of a dick move to like make him partially capable of independent thought.
Yeah, that's not good, Clark. Hey, Clarksky.
I mean, he kind of had that with the Superboy robots back in the day, but I don't know how independent that was another weird.
Well, they would always at least once every so often they would break free.
Yeah.
There was a Thunder Agents named Cyclotron.
Oh, well, there you go. See, now you're
starting to make those
connections. Yeah.
Yeah. What if it was what if it was Cyclotron but had gained sentience and joins these Thunder Agents?
Or that's the because the Thunder Agents deal is kind of the it's like the Order, right? Where it's like we're going to give you these powers, but they're going to kill you.
Yeah.
So maybe that's we'll turn you. We can give you these powers, but we're going to turn you into a robot.
Yeah, interesting. That's a lot there. Yeah, the Thunder Agents thing too isn't. I really have always liked that idea of like you get the opportunity to be a superhero or be an agent and have these powers, but yeah, they're going to kill you, definitively kill you. I thought the Order was also entertaining, but theirs was like you lose your powers after a year, right?
Yes, you lose your powers after a year.
Yeah, it was almost like a stint.
Yeah.
Interesting. Oh, last thing I want to talk about real quick.
And that book was going to be called The Champions before the RPG sued them. So, or at least threatened to sue them, and they were like, all right, fine, we can change all these C's to O's.
But then they went ahead and did the Champions later anyway.
Yeah, but
and now apparently their Young Avengers TV program is going to be the Champions now. from what I heard, and they did a thing where they had like 3 of the characters like looking beat to shit, eating food together at a table, like a throwback to the end of the first Avengers movie. I was like,
No,
that's pretty fucking genius. That's a good callback.
yeah, I guess
Yes, I have a big trade of Strike Force Vittori for those who are about to die. I love that book. That was such a good fucking series.
was that Doug Monch?
Yeah, I believe so. I'll say this though, Mitch. Thunder Agents predates Strike Force by quite a bit because that was a Wally Wood book. Like
Yeah, back in the
late 60s.
60s. Yeah, it was like a superhero spy sort of
And it
deal.
had a lot of characters die. I was like Strike Force is like a sci-fi version of the Thunder Agents at like a cosmic scale. But yeah, they have a lot in common. But it wasn't Tom King. Who did the Thunder Agents book for DC?
I didn't even know there were.
I have the first trade.
People keep trying to bring it back. It never seems to stick.
It was like a good team too. It was a good creative team. Nick Spencer, Nick Spencer, Kafu, and Frank Quietly. Again, if you haven't read that, Matt, I can loan you that too.
All right.
I only have the first trade, but the first trade's very good. It's very, very spy, like who's on whose side, really, and but I think there's some things to mine from that. I would say Thunder Agents has kind of a G.I. Joe flavor to it too, a little bit. Like all the powers are like explainable. No one's an alien.
Right.
It's like here's a helmet that will give you like mental abilities, but it will basically eat your brain up, and then we'll have to put the helmet on somebody else. Like, you were a sprinter in the Olympics that got caught using performance enhancers, but want to like get your mojo back. Okay, well, we can make you super fast, but you basically will see death coming the whole time. So you also will probably go mad from this.
Yeah.
It's just like I like the concept a lot, because the characters, like the people in the suits, matter, but what they're kind of finding out is they matter less than the code names.
Yes.
The code names are what really matter to the people pulling the strings, and I find that terrifying. I find it very realistic, I guess is what I should say. Is it's very much like, hey, you're just simply agents for hire, either by the government or by a for-profit agency. Peter Can Thunderbolt, I do like a lot. I know that he's not owned. That character's not owned by DC. That was like something that
it was a weird thing with that. Yeah.
But like that character was a Charlton character, but it was like creator owned.
Yes. So they licensed him for a period in the 80s. And then don't have access to him anymore. So
that's weird. Which again, I kind of wish I knew how that all worked out. But I mean,
and then I forgot that Kieran Gillen did a Peter Cannon book at Dynamite.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, it's fucking it's a Kieran Gillen, so it's going to be good.
Yeah.
I can't think of a bad Kieran Gillen book.
Let's see here.
Can you, Matt or Mitch?
I mean, there's definitely been stuff that was less good, but I've enjoyed most of it. Yeah, and there's stuff I need to go back to.
Matt, I think that's bullshit. I think you're lying to me.
Yeah, okay. So, yeah, Dynamite did a series, 2 series.
Is this one of those things where did the copyright run out quicker then? So it's still a character that's available for use by DC, or is it just straight
No,
up?
I don't think so. They had to I think they had to license him.
Interesting. Sorry, I was looking at something there for that. I liked Charlton, so I thought we got some interesting stuff out of Charlton. It stood the test
Had
of
some
time.
interesting stuff, but also they did a lot of garbage.
I don't think I'm familiar with DC Focus. Matt, are you familiar with that? I also want to use some of the characters from Young Heroes in Love.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to see if I could find a trade of that, but I've never been able to.
I mean, I've got the singles, but I don't know if they did a trade, it's probably long out of print.
It looks like there was 4 characters in that line. I'm not familiar with this at all, Mitch.
Oh yeah, I did get I do have all a hard time.
I'll have to look into
the
this.
other ones.
Because like if you look them up
Hard time.
on the DC thing, it just says this was a 12-issue series. That's all it says for any of these. That was a short-lived imprint. It was trying to do something in the vein of cross-gen comics. That's the weird thing too, is like I feel like DC is right now embracing what they are rather than looking at what's going on in the industry and trying to make stuff that looks like other stuff in the industry. But Matt, you either I thought you froze or you were just like in deep contemplation.
I was frozen because I did not learn my lesson and went to random page again.
Oh, fuck that. How do you guys feel about Bloodhound?
I did read Bloodhound back in the day.
I read Bloodhound too. I like it a lot. It's kind of like a less fucked up version of Dog the Bounty Hunter. Also, I love the idea that he was kind of in a similar situation as the Suicide Squad people were.
Yeah, it kind of falls in that same, zone as that and Chase and whatnot that I really like.
Manhunter.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a big Resurrection Man.
Oh, I loved Resurrection Man. I have the trades for those 2 runs. They're great. But kind of like, yeah, I feel like that's kind of the area I want to scrape in the DC universe is like that. Those books that kind of flew under the radar, but like had followings and were good. Like I still think Chase is one of those books that was wildly underrated. Same thing with Manhunter, because they like were in the DC universe, but they were like hitting in a spot that didn't really get any attention.
Yeah,
Checkmate.
That late 90s blip there, and then again after the New 52, or 52, not New 52, to the 52, where there's like they're trying some stuff. Because yeah, you had in the late 90s, you had Chase, you had Young Heroes in Love, you had Kronos.
Which, if you'll notice, if you go look at who characters you got they have as a support team, Kronos is on there. I think there's another character out of that similar run in there.
There was the Hourman book. Still need to track down.
Yeah.
There was a lot of that, stuff kind of percolating up. And then, again after the 52 where they were, doing a bunch of that, Bloodhound and I'm trying to think, Checkmate.
I love the idea if they would just do those books in seasons. Just give us 12 issues, commit to 12 issues. If it does well, then keep going, or do 4-issue miniseries and then say you have 3 of them lined up.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need to do an ongoing fucking series.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, I am going to drop.
Fallen Angel, which was Peter David's Supergirl stuff. Sovereign 7, wasn't that Chris Claremont?
Yeah.
I've created it.
There was some other ones in the 80s as well. I don't know how useful they like Cinder and Ash. I think
I remember that one.
Well, it's a very like, it's not superheroes. So,
well, I think hey, Checkmate's not either. I mean, Bloodhound
even
really
like small
isn't.
scale than that, it's just like Private Detectives, sort of deal. But
I'm like Angel and the Ape. That was a DC book.
Yep, not creator owned though.
I'm just talking about concepts.
Oh yeah.
All right, cool. I feel like we got a bunch of stuff. So can I borrow one little bit more of your time real quick? I just want to run this idea by you. All right. So I mentioned this last time. Nate had found this thing. I think it was on Instagram about a campaign of D&D where everyone actually plays sentient items. So the people who have those items are the characters for however long they live, but the items are like really the characters. So I have an idea for something called the Great Game. Cabal of sentient items are involved in a competitive game for the fate of their world for thousands of years. They utilize different vessels throughout this time period in order to serve their purposes. So a small contingent of these items played by the characters start to realize that the end game of this game is just the end of the world. And start to go, oh, I don't want the game to end. We need to do this. This is something we cannot do. And I also like the idea of possibly one of the antagonists of the whole thing being a dragon who's hoarding these items. I was like, oh, you don't get to have a person anymore. You're just on a fucking wall now. Enjoy.
Right.
And then the machinations of these things to find people to possess. Because we kind of touched upon this in Chaos Scar last session, where the wizard of this village full of ghosts, the wizard was dead, but the sentient mask was driving the body around. But the mask was like, I'm fucked up because all these people died and like their ghostly energy is fucking up with my ability to do any of this. And it's harder too because I'm not made to drive around a dead body. I'm made to have a living host.
Yeah.
And so it was like, hey, I'll let you guys out of this situation, but one of you has to decide to wear me until we can find a host. Because none of you are suitable, but I need to get out of here too. Like this is going to eventually this body will rot. I'll have no vessel and I'll just be inert. So it was like when I was trying to explain it during the episode, I was explaining it to Cassandra. I was like, it's like the helmet of fate.
Yeah.
It's just like, it's like the helmet of fate, like the helmet of fate is usually where it's like the helmet is Naboo and then it's working with the person wearing it. As opposed to sometimes Naboo is like, well, fuck you. You're not doing what I want.
I'm driving.
I'm driving. Does it sound interesting?
Yeah, I think it could be. Absolutely.
I think it's got like, you could do like miniseries based upon time periods. Like big conflicts and things like, oh, hey, there's this time like between these years that you guys all had hosts and got together to do this thing. Also, you get kind of a Highlander effect of like, there's like 100 weapons or 100 items. And if you get one of these enemy items and you destroy it, then it's out the game.
Well, and I like it. It also reminds me of um, the um, the sword in Die that
Yeah,
the
which is a riff on Elric's
yeah
Black Razor, or it's not Black Razor. I can't remember what Elric's sword is actually named, but the D&D version of Elric's sword is called Black Razor. Everything is just the same story over and over again with different names. So yeah, but I kind of, that's kind of the thing I that was also another like inspiration there for it, was like this idea of like, you know, with Elric or with Stormbringer, that's Elric's sword. This idea of the sword's got its own agenda, entirely its own agenda. Like, oh yeah, Elric, I'll help you do some of your things, but I have to kill everyone around you, including the people you care about, because I am, the Ebony Blade, another good example. And
yeah
I have my own machinations and things I want to do. So I also think it'd be cool because then players could make new characters every single time, because you're just rolling up stats and stuff for a body.
right.
So you know, if we have 100 years between the last adventure and this adventure, the items still the same, but the vessel's different.
Mm-hmm.
And I also like the idea of like the internal conflict of like, occasionally during high stress moments, you have to roll against the person you're inhabiting. If they break free of you, they like just drop you, like, what the fuck? Because they may not, maybe have lost like 10 years of their life to you dog walking them around. And then each item would have a very specific way it could be destroyed. So, you know, it's like the cast the ring in Mount Doom. The only way to get rid of the ring.
Yeah.
It might be, you know, you have to bathe this weapon in the tears of you know, a priest of so and so. You know, then it just eliminates the sentience of it. So anyway, I thought I'd throw that out there. I have an idea. It's like a very first inklings of an idea, but I think it would be really cool to do, like, it would be very easy to do like mini series across all these different. And I would start like, I literally would start like Stone Age style, Pangea style D&D. Like, these are the first things that have awoken in the plane of existence and are now waiting for like caveman style people to pick them up. So almost like a Vandal Savage, Immortal Man situation with their rocks.
Yeah.
Actually, what it could do is you could start out with just rocks.
Yeah.
And then over time, like, part of that first story is like, what were they forged? What were these rocks forged into?
Right.
That's an idea I had not thought of until we were just talking.
Oh, that's neat. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe I'll start to throw that again, because I think that's a feasible engine for 5e. 5e is a feasible engine for that. I will say one last thing. I got my birthday present from my sister-in-law yesterday. And she gave me, so you know the Oz book I have, right? That I use for Extra Life. I have the Neverland book as well.
Oh.
I did not know he did a book on Wonderland. And it is just as beautiful and amazing. I just need to find an easy system to use these in, because I love the idea of how absurdist and fucking scary these places are. Yeah, color from like a color from space. Yeah, on the color out of space idea as well. Like, these things should not be, these rocks fell from the sky. Where are they from? No one knows. They don't even know.
Right.
But they are. I would say even you using that kind of color out of space idea at the beginning of like, they have, where they've fallen has changed that landscape. And then, you know, knowing that then you can always return to that area. Like, they'll want to return to that every so often. Kind of like there's a game that is a sister game to Frostgrave called the Ghost Archipelago. And the idea is of your ancestors bathed in the waters of the Ghost Archipelago, which only phases into existence so often. And it gave them like powers. So, you know, like innate abilities. But now it's been hundreds of years and your line's abilities are starting to die out. And guess what shows up? the Ghost Archipelago. So everybody's players are like, I got to get back and rebathe in these waters. So anyway, lots of interesting stuff there. Matthew, I've eaten up like 2 hours of your life today.
That's fine.
Thank you so much.
Of
I know we were
course.
talking about like, we were going to be done in 30 minutes, and now it's like another hour and a half.
Hey, if that's where it takes us, that's where it takes us.
Thank you for everyone who hung out.
Yes.
For toss out ideas. If you have other ideas, please go to the prep school area of the Discord. Leave all your ideas there. If you do want a heel turn reboot, you go in there and you tag James as often as you fucking can. We're gonna make this happen. Matthew, you're off this week. You're back next week, right?
Correct, for Chop Chop. Yes.
All right. If you want to hang out on Mangani at all, let me know.
I will.
Otherwise, Matthew, thank you as always for being the best co-host in the history of hosts. Thank you to the chat for hanging out. Thank you to anyone who sees this in the future. Be bombers to one another, and